Elio guys, and welcome back, and of course the ladies as well. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the 4th anniversary mon, which is Zephyros, which I can already tell you I'm a big fan at least of his design, but let's go ahead and take a look at his skills. So we're going to start off here with the piece of resistance right here, which is Dark Zephyros. Obviously the dark types normally are more appealing than the light types, but we will see for this case right here. But anyways, Dark Zephyros is an attacker type, and he's coming in with nearly 27k HP, nearly 3.5k attack, and then 2.4ish k defense. Nat 4, over 3k attack, not really much complaints there. It's pretty meaty. His HP is actually decent too as an attacker. It's not like the best in the world, but it's decent, and defense is fine as well. I mean, he is an attacker type. There's really nothing else you can do other than just give him 9,999 attack, but I don't see that happening in the distant future. But his skills are Battle Rush, 20% of his HP and SP, and then Persevere, which stacks up to 8 turns, and it looks like he's also an AoE type, and he comes in with a crit rate lead, which is understandable. I mean, it's not the best lead in the world, but it would definitely help out newer players and certain team compositions. But overall, I mean, Battle Rush is fine, especially for wave clearers. But unfortunately with Persevere, I wouldn't really recommend him as a wave clearer, which kind of sucks. But I understand, I guess the MSO devs not wanting all of the mons like Dark Tina and Dark Sarah to basically just be carbon copies of each other. They all look different, but they do the same job. So it looks like they're trying to implement a little bit more changes between the anniversary mons, which isn't bad at all. But my real issue here is just with the Persevere, because it's something that I've honestly never tested at all. Like, I have Knuckles, I have a Dark Sandwraith, but I only use my Dark Sandwraith in Colossus as a SP Siphoner. But I've heard great things about Dark Sandwraith, but the difference between Dark Sandwraith and Zephyros is obviously Zephyros is a Nat 4, and Dark Sandwraith also has SP Siphon, which I think Persevere can work, especially in a longer battle. But the problem with that is if he dies, Persevere is completely useless because he can't use that skill. And while Battle Rush does give him some self-sustainment, at least to some degree, and can help him get to his Persevere faster, unless you're playing manually, he may end up just wasting that. Or the bigger issue here is that there's no real utility with that 3-star skill for you to then use Persevere afterwards with Dark Sandwraith as an example. Dark Sandwraith, you can SP Siphon them on, prevent them from getting their special off, and hopefully CC them, or just prevent them from getting their special off until hopefully Persevere builds up with a little bit of luck. Here he can still heal himself and obviously get his SP back up for the Persevere, but like I said, there's no real crowd control right here, which kind of has me shaking my head. I'm definitely curious, or at least interested in testing him out in some form or fashion, but the only real uses I could see here would be maybe PvP. I mean, I'm not sure how well he would perform there, because like I was telling another guy in Discord earlier today, I was like, dude, yeah, Persevere sounds great and all, but what's the point in Persevere if my battles are done in a couple of turns, or that mon can't even act with Persevere because they're just CC to death? Like, that's my only argument with that. But I understand not everyone has CC mons or just a try-hard PvP team full of CC. So it's interesting to see how he will go. Also, because I was going too fast, such as a character like Sonic would say, let's take a look at his skill books as well for Dark Zephyros. So Battle Rush gets a 20% damage boost, and then it also goes up to 25% for HP and SP, which is fine. I mean, Battle Rush is Battle Rush. It's basically he hits, he regains health and gains SP, and then Persevere gets a whopping 25% boost in damage as well. I was honestly hoping that would be a little bit more, but I've never used Persevere, so I can't really have any complete idea of how much this would affect Persevere's damage. I'm sure that there's maybe a cap for Persevere, but it takes up to 8 turns. Well, I think it does take 8 turns for it to hit its maximum potential, so you have to keep that in mind as well. But I think the main issue here though is Battle Rush is great, and I've been a big fan of Battle Rush for a long time, but as time has gone on, if Battle Rush isn't on like a wave clearer already, morale boost honestly is just a lot more appealing because I get SP way faster than what I get from Battle Rush. And while Battle Rush does have some self-sustainability kind of goes out of the window when you have mons like Fire Draka that can build their SP super duper quick, like within a turn, regardless of their damage output, and essentially just start wiping waves like no problem at all. So I don't know, I'm starting to get on the fence of Battle Rush. In some mons it works out quite well, but in other mons, even like a mon like Dark Odin, in my opinion, it's just not super appealing. Like, it feels not weak, it just feels not the best anymore. Maybe I'm just an MSL boomer nowadays, but yeah, that's my take on it. So let's go over here to the light one. Alright, so we have Light Zephyros here, who is a tank type, coming in with 40k HP, 1.9k attack, and then 2.4k defense. As a tank type, he has plenty of HP, defense is acceptable, very, very similar to the Dark one actually, and then attack is dirt nasty low, but his main job is just to soak up damage, and hopefully he can do that well. And one more thing though, he comes in with resistance down, 100% chance for 2 turns. And also shock, 60% chance for 2 turns as well. In terms of his skills, it's cool in my opinion. It's cool that we have another resistance down mon in the pool of other resistance down mons, you know, featuring like, what is it? I think one of the water slime, water Xiao Jing, light griffin, etc. So to those of you out there without an Evo 3 light griffin, I'm not saying that he's going to be better than light griffin, but I can understand how he could fit into maybe more of a CC comp, because not only does he bring resistance down, but it actually feeds into his shock skill as well. You may not get that much damage out of him unless you build him very, very like glassy in a way, but as a tank type he should be perfectly fine with being at least a little bit glassy. It's just that him not being a dark type doesn't really benefit for the crit, so you can either focus on just keeping him tanky or maybe a bruiser build if you want to be brave. But I think overall it's definitely not bad at all. I feel like this one is more favorable in my opinion, more than the dark one. Obviously I have no testing with Persevere, so I can't say with complete confidence that the dark one is going to be god tier or not, but at least the light one I can see it having more universal uses. You can of course use this in Tower of Chaos. It is of course usable in PvP, both regular PvP, of course Champions League, Clan vs Clan if you want, even though we have the Clan vs Clan remake going on. And I mean PvE, if you just need a resistance down mon, he is there and hopefully obtainable to all if you're lucky enough. And I think he's solid, maybe not game breaking, but he is a solid addition to teams. And if you don't have a light griffin, this is your next best choice as a light mon with resistance down. But let's go over here real quick to his skill books before the final verdict is involved. So for his resistance down, he just gets a damage boost by 30%, nothing incredible there. And then shock gets a 20% damage boost, and then it goes up to 70% chance for 2 turns, I believe. 70% chance for 2 turns. Pretty solid. The 70% chance really does sell him to me, so I do, at least in my opinion, find him to be a little bit more appealing than Dark Zephyros. I will be going for both though, because Astro Guide purposes, maybe I will build the dark one for research, but I'm definitely curious about building the light one just to have fun with, even though I already have a light griffin. That's not supposed to be a weird flex, but you know, I could always use more resistance down mons for more CCers like Light Banshee and stuff of that nature. But my final verdict would be, I would say, honestly, I would prioritize the light one first over the dark one, because while the dark one does have Battle Rush, he unfortunately does not fit the criteria as a wave clearer. And the light one, I feel like, just overall has more utility. You can use him in a couple more areas than you can use a dark one in. I'm not saying that you can't use a dark one in the same areas or use a dark one in Tower of Chaos, but the problem with Persevere is that when the wave changes, like when you fight more mons, Persevere resets. It's not 8 turns through the entire stage, it's 8 turns through that entire battle, only that battle. So it resets, which makes this a bummer. But as a person with no experience with Persevere, I can't tell you how appealing it is, but I will say that if I haven't used Persevere up until this point in the game, it's probably for a reason, because I can get things simply done faster without persevere. But you may not have those mons. It's not a big deal if you don't, but it is what it is. Light Zephyros, you have my win. Dark Zephyros, I almost said Zephyros. He does have the Sephiroth haircut / Ansem if any of you guys play Kingdom Hearts. But Dark Zephyros, I don't know about you, man. We're going to have to see. But that's pretty much it for this review, you guys. I definitely hoped it helped. I'm excited for both of those, though. I definitely love Zephyros' design. I'm glad to see him in the game. Hopefully his animation isn't dirt nasty slow. And until next time, appreciate you guys for stopping by. And yeah, see ya.